Hey everyone out there in the land of YouTube, this is Annette Dion. It is Wednesday, May 25th, 2022. It's the middle of the afternoon, again into late afternoon, and we all know what's going on, so I don't have to tell you. I just got through hearing Beto O'Rourke. It was getting towards the end of this press conference with Greg Abbott, and Ted Cruz was standing right behind him. And Beto showed up at the press conference. He had every right to state what he was there to state. And, you know, whatever you think about what Beto did, it was really striking to me how threatened they were by Beto O'Rourke being in their faces about them doing absolutely nothing to stop the gun violence. And I was already all wound up because having caught most of the press conference, at least 15 minutes of it, you know, I get to where I'm like seething with rage and I have to just breathe and calm myself down when I hear somebody blatantly lying to our faces, when they know full well what they're doing, they know full well that they're responsible. And shame on Greg Abbott, may he rot in hell, for blaming this on an under maybe funded mental health system. Shame on him, and may he rot in hell. Yes, I just said that. And Ted Cruz with him. So here I am venting my anger, and we'll go to peace and love eventually. But I just want to make the point that if you're seething with rage, it's for good reason. I want to mention that on Sunday at Church of Spirituality, in my sermon, I mentioned something in my sermon. If you don't want to watch the whole thing, you can just fast forward in. This past Sunday, which was the 22nd, we've been talking about the feminine, the divine feminine. And wait for the part, if you listen to the sermon, and I hope that you do, wait for the part about the monkeys and the monkey fight. About the mother monkey. In a sense, it came to my mind that I had said that, and I was taken aback. In a sense, it was kind of prophetic what I was pointing to and what I said about the mother-child bond and how it affects the collective when something happens. I guess I'm not here today to do a full-on reading, except I am going to look at a couple cards to see what's going to happen with the NRA and what's going to happen to the Republicans. But I feel like I have more to say than to read, so it's not going to be a long video. I am doing a show tonight with Corey on Bridge Cape End to lighten up the energy, and we will. I can count on Corey for that. And I don't mean we're not going to acknowledge what's happening. I just mean, you know, we have to kind of go recharge, and then before we can come back and take any more of this horrifying story. I've mentioned before that I don't have children myself. But I absolutely, we all love children. And I worked with children for years as a piano teacher in that age range. I'm trying not to cry at the moment. I'm grateful at the outrage that we are seeing. I'm grateful at what we are able to see of people who have had enough. And by the same token, people that are hanging on tightly to their guns and are so invested in hating the libs and owning the libs and hating Joe Biden. And I'm afraid to look at Fox News, not that I do regularly, but I would just be so horrified by how they're twisting the story. The bottom line is, we have no enforcement of gun laws. and background checks. And that is besides the fact that the NRA is paying millions upon millions of dollars to these politicians to keep lining their pockets. I'm pretty astounded. I saw 2 pictures of the smiling little children. And, sorry. They're little angels. They're little angelic beings, and we've been through this already with Sandy Hook. And I knew something was coming because I was thinking about Sandy Hook 3 days ago a lot. I want to say something about people who are expressing that they are having a hard time believing that there is a God, believing that, all is well, like we like to say. I understand that. I definitely understand that. Of course. It's like when people say, oh, pray for the killer. It's like, if you can't, you can't. But this is the point that I want to make, and I'll pick some cards to find out what's going to happen to the NRA. Evil, evil, evil organization. Anyway, before I get to the all is well point, I just want to say that hearing people jeering, making fun of Joe Biden, and at the Herschel Walker polls, after I guess he pulled it off, I don't even know who he was running against, when they heard Joe Biden live addressing the nation about this horrifying thing that happened. The poor guy, he just got off the plane from this, he's probably jet lagged to death. I don't mean that literally. And he had said something about we need to take control. And the people that were at the polling place, I don't know where it was. I guess it was a Herschel Walker headquarters. They started booing Joe Biden. That's the kind of mentality. That's the evil that needs to be stopped. And we need to stop it. And Ted Cruz yelling at Beto O'Rourke, I mean cussing on live TV. Boy, was Ted Cruz threatened by Beto's confronting him. Ted Cruz actually not addressing, as Greg Abbott did not address, the problem with the proliferation of guns. The United States of America has more guns. The citizens have more guns than citizens. And for Ted Cruz to say what he said, which had included nothing, when a reporter asked him what he thought about what happened, said nothing about the need to take these guns off the street, and started pointing to the Democrats as the problem and the Democrats as making this a political issue. No, this is a human issue. We want to survive. We want our loved ones to survive. We want the people in our communities to survive. So we'll look at it. I'm sorry, I'm almost 10 minutes in, but we do need to talk. And if you join Grassroots of Democracy, if you haven't already, just, sneak preview. This will be the topic tomorrow night. grassrootsofdemocracy@gmail.com. Type AYE in the subject line to get a Zoom invite every week. This is not a political issue. That these Republicans that are being funded by the NRA are actually up there trying to blame this on mental health. Obviously the kid had something wrong with him. And it's like, and talking about how we have to, The whole press conference was about, we need to secure our schools more. Well, you know what? They have security guards, and these guys wear bulletproof vests. So it's like, let's ignore the huge elephant in the room. Let's talk about the need to, when bad people have guns, then the good people must have guns to fight back. We'll be talking a lot more about this in the future. All right, as far as the all is well thing, here's what I have for you from the guides. And I know this. The divine power that's running the show, and there is one because we couldn't exist without it. We wouldn't even exist. Is always pushing us to go to the light, to go to the truth, to fix the things that need to be fixed, to work towards good, to combat evil, always pushing us in a direction that supports us. The divine is always doing that. The guides are always doing that. In a reading, the guides will always show you where you need to shift to get to the good stuff. And I mean the light and the love and the, healing and enjoying life, all that. That's always what we're being pushed towards. And here's the deal. If we don't make changes, they give us little hints. Well, you might want to change this little thing. And then if collectively we refuse to make changes where the changes are needed, collectively, then the universe keeps sending us more, okay, well, maybe this will make you get it. Or maybe this will make you get it. Maybe this will do it. And with each hint, with each strong indicator that we need to shift something, the longer we ignore it, the worse it gets. Because the universe is a self-correcting system. And this goes for our personal lives and this goes for our collective lives. And they're connected. If you're not feeling the pain of what's going on in Texas right now and in Buffalo and in all the communities across the United States who are being shredded to pieces, even literally, by gun violence. If you don't feel it, check your pulse. Seriously. All is well because the universe wants us all to be well, but something is amiss. And we got a big hint in 1999 at Columbine, and nothing has changed. Each and every one of us, each individual person, do not curl up in a corner and go back to sleep. I'm begging you. We're all begging you. Do not curl up in a corner and go back to sleep. I am begging you. Oh, I'm doing the Senator Murphy thing. I didn't even realize it. I'm begging you. Do not go back to sleep. And the one way that I know that the collective is that we're all one was that I said stuff at my meeting. We had the 20 minutes on Tuesdays where we prayed about this and we meditated about this, and we're meeting every Tuesday. After I said what I felt I needed to say before we got into the meditation, I swear it was almost verbatim. All the people that were speaking out that I saw in the news were saying the exact same words. We can do this. All is well if we listen to the messages that the universe is giving us. Because, just like global climate change, how many disasters is it going to take before we finally do something? Because we will keep getting hammered until we as a collective human civilization do something. I apologize for taking so long to get to what's going to happen. As I said, we'll just do a short thing today. And tonight we have our show with Corey. Go to Bridge Cape Ann to tune in live. He's going to start at 6. I won't be there till 6:30. Join us at any point. It's probably going to be 3 hours. So this will be short. Usually on Wednesdays I do a longer thing at night. Please pray, please visualize. I want to have t-shirts made that say this. If you want to help, if anybody wants to help make this t-shirt that says, I'm out of thoughts and prayers. Stop gun violence. If anybody wants to help with that. I'm actually wanting to pick 3 cards about Beto. I mean, and here's the thing. This gun violence has hit every state. So it's going to be across the entire nation that people are wanting something to be done. Here's Beto. Ooh, Beto is definitely full steam ahead. Something has to be done now. This is Beto O'Rourke. It was telling how defensive Ted Cruz was. It was very telling how angry he got. There was no need for that. And he got so angry and defensive, Ted Cruz did, because that's how guilty he is. You can look up the stats. You can look up, we could do a research project. How much money are these senators, how much money are these representatives getting from the NRA? This is, so I'm asking about Beto O'Rourke. You're going to have to tell Beto, anyone who knows Beto, make sure you get some rest if you can. Take some naps or something, because he's not going to go to sleep, literally. And I'm concerned about him, but I think that his wife will reel him in. The moon, we are a nation in mourning. We thought Buffalo would be it. We thought Sandy Hook would be it. We maybe thought Columbine would be it. We I played my song earlier. You'll see it right here on my page. That I wrote after the shooting in El Paso. I holed myself up in my office. It was a summer afternoon, hot as could be, and I stayed in and I wrote that song in an afternoon. And that was 2019. This is the moon is deep, 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 deep pain. This is about Beto. The Wheel of Fortune actually means that something's going to change. This time, the guides are saying this time it will stick. Something's going to change and this time it will stick. Will it be soon? It will be soon. So don't you focus on those people who are being threatened and so defensive because they're so worried that if they want strict gun laws, that makes them a lib because they're trying to own the libs. Don't let them get to you. Because if that kind of violence, God forbid, visits them, they're not going to be thinking about Republicans or Democrats or, like owning the libs or, like Joe Biden being whatever they accuse Democrats of being. The NRA. I'm only going to keep you for 30 minutes. For 30 minutes. The NRA. Before I look at the NRA, I want to look at Greg Abbott. I was flabbergasted at how much he was going on exclusively about mental health. They have mental health issues in other countries. They don't. America's looking really like a not civilized. We're not a civilized nation. We can no longer claim to be a civilized first world nation because we are not. Because we have become not civil. There used to be such a thing called civil discourse, which was kind of like debating on civic issues. No more. People pull out their GD guns. Anyway, Abbott. We're going to look at Abbott. Skirting the issue, not acknowledging the elephant in the room, talking about, oh, it's the mental health thing. It's that. Yeah, it's that. Oh, we need more security at school. I don't blame Beto. Not one tiny bit. Greg Abbott. Well, Greg Abbott is looking a little bit like being held hostage by this situation. It's going to become abundantly clear that we need gun control, that we need laws and we need gun control. Speaking of Church of Spirituality, the week before last Sunday, on the 15th, I was talking about young men, young boys, the age like 16, 17, 18, not being initiated into manhood. It's a big problem. They have no guidance. You can't have men, boys growing into men with no mentoring and no guidance. We are a lost nation. Anyway, so Greg Abbott, he's really, he's looking very, 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 very bad. Very bad. Out of curiosity, I might have to watch Fox News and see what they're saying, if I can handle it. But the message is very clear, that something needs to be done, and they need to stop making it a democratic issue that we don't want to be massacred. We would rather not be massacred. It would be good to not be massacred. Yeah, that would be good. It would be kind of good to not have a mass shooting. I mean, there's a holiday weekend coming up. And it's actually woven into our psyches now, wherever you go, because we've been in this since 1999, these mass shootings on a large scale. That's a long time. We have it in our national psyche. Oh, we could get shot. Especially if you live in a red state. A ruby red state. I do see some building a new way happening. This is really about the people of Texas building a new way. This is not about Abbott. Let's see what's going to happen with the NRA. The guides are just like defensive, 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 defensive. The other thing I want to say about the universe being a self-correcting system is that when we see what the GOP has done, when we see how Mitch McConnell has supported evil every step of the way, it's glaringly obvious. I mean, we haven't even gotten to the January 6th publicly viewed hearings, publicly aired, where we get to see the Ted Cruzes and the Mark Meadows and the Marjorie Taylor Greens and the Lauren Boeberts and the Mo Brooks. We get to see all that coming up soon to a TV near you or an internet near you. Full-blown living color, how evil they are and how much these certain Republican evil people, how much they don't care one tiny bit about their fellow human beings. It's all corruption, it's all greed, and it's all lust for power. There are no exceptions in their thinking. Like Joe Biden would say, this is a battle for the soul of America. This is a battle for our lives. This is a battle for our country. This is a country that's lost its moral compass. We used to have one. Can I just take a moment to say here that if you don't like what I have to say, I mean, because I know I have some trolls, you don't need to be here. And thank you for those of you who are in this community, that are in the collective energy of actively engaging and joining us as a collective. This is not about me. It isn't. I'm not making any money off my channel. It's about the need for us to come together and the need for us to know that together we can. Wasn't that Obama's slogan? Together we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. You are not the only one grieving. We are all grieving. Every one of us is grieving, unless we don't have a soul. And I want to say too, some people don't have love in their hearts, and it's hard for those of us that do to understand that. But if you have compassion and caring, and you're a normal human being in that way, and I hope you are, if you're watching the channel, it's likely that you are involved in spiritual matters and spiritual teaching, and you're just a human being, know that you're not alone, and know that what you do will matter. It does matter. So let's pick 3 cards on the NRA and the outcome, and then hopefully I'll see you tonight at the show, and it'll post later on Bridge Cape Band too. I'll put it on my community page. 6 Eastern time tonight. The NRA. If you need some inspiration, you can watch Church of Spirituality from the past weeks. I do what I can. I hope that it helps. The NRA. They're gonna do what they can. The NRA, they're gonna do what they can to still do. I don't mean to discourage everyone. The NRA is gonna do what they can to lie. They're gonna lie, 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 lie. And they have some kind of a convention in Texas this weekend. They should cancel it. But they won't. This is America rebuilding. This is America doing something. But right now, the NRA, don't be fooled, is sitting pretty. They'll go down eventually. I have seen that. I've seen the NRA go bankrupt eventually. But right now, they're sitting pretty. Because you know what? You know what I think this represents? When there's a mass shooting, gun sales go up. And let's not forget that Greg Abbott made it permit free to own a gun. So while he's sitting up there blaming the shooting on, oh, well, the mental health industry, or, you know, the mental health, oh, they don't have enough beds at the mental health hospitals. In the meantime, he's passing bills. Anybody can have a gun. You don't even need a permit. You don't even know how to use it. You don't need any background check. And lo and behold, Ron DeSatan is doing the same damn thing. Let's turn the anger into mobilization. Join Grassroots of Democracy, and I will see you later on. Please, if you feel despair, reach out, join us, reach out to me. AnnetteDion7@gmail.com if you need a little help. Just write to me. We're in it to win it. We're in it to make a difference. We would not be here as, you know, spiritual beings in human form if we weren't here to make a difference. And I truly believe that in my heart of hearts. And thank you so much for letting me pontificate. I'm just sharing, really. I am a minister. Anyway, I love you guys. Keep praying for those families. I know there's no healing from this. I know there's no healing from this. We know that. But we can send white light to help them want to stay alive. And I mean that, because if you were them, you wouldn't want to be alive. I'm searching my brain for some better news. This will make change happen. This is gonna. It's not gonna be that this goes not addressed this time. These children will not have been lost in vain. These beautiful little souls will not have been lost in vain. They're lost. There's nothing we can do to bring them back to life, and it won't be in vain in the sense that a shift will happen towards a safer country. Mark my words, it is happening. Okay, I'll see you soon. Namaste. Love you.